Glory to God the Father and Son Yeshua Mashiach. 2 Chronicles chapter 17. Jehoshaphat walks in the ways of David. Then Jehoshaphat his son became king in his place. He strengthened his position against Israel by placing forces in all the fortified cities of Yehudah, and by garrisoning troops in the territory of Yehudah and in the cities of Ephraim that Asa his father had captured. Adonai was with Jehoshaphat, because he lived according to the first ways of his ancestor David, not seeking the Baalim, but seeking the God of his father and living by his mitzvot, not by what Yisrael did. Therefore Adonai consolidated his rulership. All Yehudah brought presents to Jehoshaphat, so that he had wealth and honor in abundance. In his heart he highly regarded Adonai's ways. Moreover, he removed the high places and sacred poles from Yehudah. In the 3rd year of his reign he sent his leading men Ben-Hail, Obadiah, Zechariah, Nethanel and Micaiah to teach in the cities of Yehudah. With them were the Levium Shemayahu, Nethanyahu, Zebadiahu, Asael, Shemiramoth, Jonathan, Adoniyahu, Tuviyahu and Tovadoniah, the Levium, and with them Elishama and Jehoram the Kohanim. They taught in Yehudah, having a scroll of the Torah of Adonai with them. They circulated through all the cities of Yehudah, teaching among the people. The kingdom is expanded. A panic from Adonai seized all the kingdoms in the lands surrounding Yehudah, so that they did not make war against Jehoshaphat. Some of the Pelishtim brought Jehoshaphat gifts and silver as tribute. The Arabs too brought him flocks, 7,700 rams and 7,700 male goats. So Jehoshaphat grew increasingly powerful. In Yehudah he built fortresses and storage cities. He had many projects in the cities of Yehudah, and in Jerusalem he had warriors, strong brave men. Here is a listing of them by clans. From Yehudah, the captains of thousands. Adnah the leader, and with him 300,000 strong, brave men. Next to him Elchanan the leader, and with him 280,000. Next to him Amasiah the son of Zikri, who volunteered to serve Adonai, and with him 200,000 strong, brave men. From Benjamin, Eliada, a strong, brave man, and with him 200,000 equipped with bows and shields. Next to him Jozabad, and with him 180,000 prepared for war. These served the king, in addition to those the king assigned to the fortified cities throughout all Yehudah. Second Chronicles chapter 18. Jehoshaphat and Ahab. Jehoshaphat had wealth and honor in abundance, and by marriage he allied himself with Ahab. After some years he went down to Ahab in Shomeron. Ahab slaughtered sheep and oxen in abundance for him and the people with him, and persuaded him to go up with him to Ramoth-gilead. Ahab king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat king of Yehudah, "Will you go with me to Ramoth-gilead?" He answered him, "I'm with you all the way. Think of my troops as yours. We will join you in this war." But Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, "First, we should seek the word of Adonai." So the king of Israel assembled the prophets, 400 men. "Should we attack Ramoth-gilead?" he asked them, "or should I hold off?" They said, "Attack. God will hand it over to the king." But Jehoshaphat said, "Besides these, isn't there a prophet of Adonai here that we can consult?" The king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, "Yes, there is still one man through whom we can consult Adonai, but I hate him, because he never prophesies anything good for me, only bad. It's Micaiah the son of Imlah." Jehoshaphat replied, "The king shouldn't say such a thing." Then the king called an officer and said, "Quickly, bring Micaiah the son of Imlah." Now the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat the king of Yehudah were each sitting on his throne, dressed in their royal robes. They were sitting in a threshing floor at the entrance to the gate of Shomeron, and all the prophets were there, prophesying in their presence. Sidkiah the son of Kena'anah had made himself some horns out of iron and said, "This is what Adonai says. With these you will gore Aram until they are destroyed." All the prophets prophesied the same thing. "Go up and attack Ramoth-gilead. You will succeed, because Adonai will hand it over to the king." The messenger who had gone to call Micaiah said to him, "Here, now, the prophets are unanimously predicting success for the king. Please let your word be like one of theirs, say something good." But Micaiah answered, "As Adonai lives, whatever my God says is what I will say." When he reached the king asked him, "Micaiah, should we go up and attack Ramoth-gilead, or should we hold off?" He answered, "Go up, you will succeed, they will be handed over to you." The king said to him, "How many times do I have to warn you to tell me nothing but the truth in the name of Adonai?" Then he said, "I saw all Israel scattered over the hills like sheep without a shepherd, and Adonai said, 'These men have no leader. Let everyone go home in peace.'" The king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, "Didn't I tell you that he wouldn't prophesy good things about me, but bad?" Micaiah continued, "Therefore, hear the word of Adonai. I saw Adonai sitting on his throne with the whole army of heaven standing on his right and on his left. Adonai asked, 'Who will entice Ahab king of Israel to go up to his death at Ramoth-gilead?' One of them said, 'Do it this way,' and another, 'Do it that way.' Then a spirit stepped up, stood in front of Adonai and said, 'I will entice him.' Adonai asked, 'How?' He answered, 'I will go and be a deceiving spirit in the mouths of all his prophets.' Adonai said, 'You will succeed in enticing him. Go and do it.' So now Adonai has put a deceiving spirit in the mouths of these prophets of yours. Meanwhile, Adonai has ordained disaster for you." Then Sidkiah the son of Kena'anah came up, slapped Micaiah in the face and said, "And how did the spirit of Adonai leave me to speak to you?" Micaiah said, "You'll find out the day you go into an inside room, trying to hide." The king of Israel said, "Seize Micaiah, and take him back to Ammon the governor of the city and Joash the king's son. Say, 'The king says to put this man in prison, and feed him only bread and water, and not much of that, until I come back in peace.'" Micaiah said, "If you return in peace at all, Adonai has not spoken through me." Then he added, "Did you hear me, you peoples, all of you?" So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat the king of Yehudah went up to Ramoth-gilead. The king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, "I will disguise myself and go into battle. But you, put on your robes." So the king of Israel disguised himself and went into battle. Now the king of Aram had ordered his chariot commanders, "Don't attack anyone of either high or low rank, only the king of Israel." So when the chariot commanders saw Jehoshaphat they said, "This is the king of Israel," and turned to attack him. But Jehoshaphat called out, and Adonai came to his aid. God moved him to leave him alone. so that when the chariot commanders saw that he wasn't the king of Israel, they stopped pursuing him. However, one soldier shot an arrow at random and struck the king of Israel between his lower armor and the breastplate. The king said to his chariot driver, "Turn the reins and take me out of the fighting. I'm collapsing from my wounds." But the fighting grew fiercer that day, and although the king of Israel propped himself upright in his chariot facing Aram until evening, around sunset he died. Second Chronicles chapter 19. Then Jehoshaphat the king of Yehudah returned home to Jerusalem in peace. Jehu the son of Hanani the seer went out to meet him and said to King Jehoshaphat, "Should you help the wicked and befriend those who hate Adonai? Because of this, Adonai's anger is upon you. Still, there is some good in you, in that you have removed the sacred poles from the land and have set your heart on seeking God." So Jehoshaphat lived in Jerusalem and again circulated among the people from Beer-sheva to the hills of Ephraim, bringing them back to Adonai, the God of their ancestors. Divisions of the kingdom. He appointed judges throughout the land in all the fortified cities of Yehudah, city by city, and instructed the judges, "Think about what you are doing. You are not dispensing justice by merely human standards but on behalf of Adonai. He is with you when you deliver a verdict. Therefore, let the fear of Adonai be upon you. Be careful what you do, for Adonai our God does not allow dishonesty, partiality or bribe-taking." In Jerusalem Jehoshaphat appointed some of the Levium, Kohanim and clan heads of Israel to judge in matters concerning Adonai and in civil cases, after they had returned to Jerusalem. He charged them, "Here is what you are to do faithfully and wholeheartedly, in fear of Adonai. When an issue comes before you from your brothers who live in their cities, whether it's a case involving bloodshed or a question as to which teaching, mitzvah, law or ruling applies, you must warn them, so that they won't incur guilt toward Adonai and thereby bring anger on both you and your kinsmen. Do this, and you won't incur guilt. Amar-Yahu the chief Kohen is over you in all matters concerning Adonai, and Zevadyahu the son of Yishmael, chief of the house of Yehudah, in all the king's matters. The officers of the Levium are at your service. Be strong, and act, and may Adonai be with the good." Second Chronicles chapter 20. Victory over Moab and Ammon. Sometime later, the people of Moab and the people of Ammon with other Ammonim came up to fight Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat was told, "A huge army from beyond the Dead Sea, from Aram, is on its way to fight you. Right now they are in Hatzatzon Tamar, that is, Ein Gedi." Jehoshaphat was frightened, so he determined to seek Adonai. He proclaimed a fast throughout all Yehudah. And Yehudah assembled to seek help from Adonai. They came from all the cities of Yehudah to seek Adonai. Standing in front of the new courtyard in the house of Adonai, among those assembled from Yehudah and Jerusalem, he said, "Adonai, God of our ancestors, you alone are God in heaven. You rule all the kingdoms of the nations. In your hand are power and strength, so that no one can withstand you. You, our God, drove out those living in the land ahead of your people Israel and gave it forever to the descendants of Abraham your friend. They lived in it, built you a sanctuary in it for your name, and said, 'If calamity strikes us, such as war, judgment, disease or famine, we will stand before this house, that is, before you, since your name is in this house, and cry to you in our distress, and you will hear us and rescue us. So now, see, the people of Ammon, Moab and Mount Seir, whom you would not let Israel invade when they came out of the land of Egypt, so that they turned away from them and did not destroy them, are now repaying us evil. They have come to throw us out of your possession, which you gave us as an inheritance. Our God, won't you execute judgment against them? For we haven't strength enough to defeat this huge horde coming against us, and we don't know what to do, but our eyes are on you. All Yehudah stood before Adonai with their little ones, their wives and their children. Then, in the middle of the assembly, the spirit of Adonai came upon Yachaziel the son of Zechariah, the son of Benaiah, the son of Yehiel, the son of Mattaniah the Levi, from the descendants of Asaph. He said, Listen, all Yehudah, you who live in Jerusalem, and King Jehoshaphat. Here is what Adonai is saying to you: don't be afraid or distressed by this great horde, for the battle is not yours, but God's. Tomorrow, go down against them. They will be coming up by the ascent of Sitz, and you will find them at the end of the valley, before the Yeruel desert. You won't even need to fight this battle. Just take your positions, Yehudah and Jerusalem, stand still, and watch how Adonai will deliver you. Don't be afraid or distressed. Tomorrow, go out against them, for Adonai is with you. Jehoshaphat bowed his head with his face to the ground, while all Yehudah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem fell down before Adonai, worshipping Adonai. And the Levium from the descendants of the Kohathi and the descendants of the Korchi stood up and praised Adonai the God of Israel at the top of their voices. The next morning, they rose early and went out into the Tekoa desert. As they left, Jehoshaphat stood and said, Listen to me, Yehudah and you inhabitants of Jerusalem. Trust in Adonai your God, and you will be safe. Trust in his prophets, and you will succeed. After consulting with the people, he appointed those who would sing to Adonai and praise the splendor of his holiness as they went out ahead of the army, saying, Give thanks to Adonai, for his grace continues forever. Then, during the time when they were singing and praising, Adonai brought a surprise attack against the people of Ammon, Moab and Mount Seir who had come to fight Yehudah, and they were defeated. What happened was that the people of Ammon and Moab began attacking those people who lived by Mount Seir, to kill and destroy them completely, and when they had finished off the people from Seir, they set to work slaughtering one another. So when Yehudah reached the watchtower overlooking the desert, they looked toward the horde, and there in front of them were corpses fallen to the ground. None had escaped. Jehoshaphat and his army came to take the spoil from them and found among them personal property in abundance and corpses with precious jewels, which they stripped off for themselves until they couldn't carry any more. They took 3 days just to collect the spoil, there was so much. On the 4th day, they assembled in the valley of Berakah, blessing, where they blessed Adonai. Hence that place is called the Valley of Berakah to this day. Then they returned, everyone from Yehudah and Jerusalem, with Jehoshaphat leading them joyfully back to Jerusalem, for Adonai had caused them to rejoice over their enemies. They came to Jerusalem with lyres, lutes and trumpets and went to the house of Adonai. A panic from God was on all the kingdoms of the countries when they heard that Adonai had fought against the enemies of Israel. So Jehoshaphat's rule was a quiet one, because his God gave him rest all around. The reign of Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat ruled over Yehudah. He was 35 years old when he began his reign, and he ruled 25 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Azuvah, the daughter of Shilki. He lived in the manner of Asa his father and did not turn away from it, doing what was right from Adonai's perspective. Although the high places were not taken away, and the people had not yet set their hearts toward the God of their ancestors. Other activities of Jehoshaphat, from beginning to end, are written in the records of Jehu the son of Hanani, which have been inserted in the annals of the kings of Israel. The sin and death of Jehoshaphat. It was after this that Jehoshaphat joined up with Ahaziah king of Israel, who was acting very wickedly. He joined together with him to build large ships capable of going to Tarshish. They made the ships in Etzion-Geber. Then Eleazar the son of Dodavahu from Mareshah prophesied against Jehoshaphat, "Because you joined yourself with Ahaziah, Adonai is wrecking your project." And the ships were wrecked, so that they couldn't go to Tarshish.